Riley Gaines shows president of the Human Rights Campaign, Kelly Robinson, that the biological truth is not always as fair as you want it to be. Welcome back to Resist the Mainstream. I'm Steve Hinman. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and of course hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. Well, we've had a lot of stories on RTM lately on the topic of gender, but today's video focuses on a less popular side of the argument, one that does not involve the same rules as everyday social life. Regardless of your opinion on gender, almost everyone can agree that professional sports are kept fair due to their strict sets of rules that pertain to each sport, respectively. Professional sports are separated by male and female for anatomical and biological reasons. In all fairness, you could argue the difference varies between certain sports. Weight limits, weight classes, there's differences, people. But overall, the most popular sports tend to be very physically demanding, meaning the difference between a man and women's performance could differ immensely. Riley Gaines and Kelly Robinson butted heads on the subject here.
My name is Kelly Robinson. I use she, her pronouns. I'm proud to serve as president of the Human Rights Campaign, our nation's largest civil rights organization working to achieve full equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people across the country. Thank you for inviting me to submit testimony at this important hearing. On behalf of HRC's more than 3 million members and supporters, I've come here today with a single message. The LGBTQ plus people of the United States are living in a state of emergency. This is not an exaggeration. This is not a dramatization. More than 525 anti-LGBTQ plus bills have been introduced this year in the states. More than 220 of those bills target the transgender community, many targeting children, transgender children. And more than 75 of those anti-LGBTQ plus bills have now become law. This includes laws that ban books and censor curriculum in the classroom. This includes laws that forbid children from being able to safely use the bathroom at school, and laws that criminalize doctors for providing life-saving, gender-affirming health care. The purpose of these laws is to facilitate a rise in political extremism by alienating and isolating LGBTQ plus Americans, and the impact of these laws is truly alarming. There's now more violence against LGBTQ plus Americans than ever before, with mass shootings in our safe spaces, murders of transgender people, and threats from the Proud Boys, neo-Nazis, and other groups the Southern Poverty Law Center has designated as extremists.
I think what Kelly Robinson is actually referring to is Riley Gaines being attacked and being held for ransom.
You talk about intimidation, threats of violence. You have suffered it. I want to put up here a picture so everybody can see it. This was the welcome you were treated to at San Francisco State University just a couple of months ago when a mob assembled where you were supposed to speak, I believe for over 3 hours, screamed, threatened you, barricaded you in a room. Do I have that basically correct?
Yes, I was held for ransom for 3.5 hours by hundreds of these protesters, as you see on the board.
I mean, what was it you were saying that was so terrible?
I was invited to speak on my experience of my senior year in competing against a male. Nothing opinionated about what I shared. It was sheerly the exact lived experience of what me and my teammates and fellow competitors dealt with. And so I spoke. After my speech, there was, of course, a lot of protesters in the room, which I'm totally fine with people protesting. It's their right to protest. But what I'm not fine with is when it does turn violent in the way that it did. Because protesters afterwards, they rushed into the room. They turned off the lights, they rushed to the front. Myself and others were assaulted, and that's ultimately when I was held for hostage for 3.5 hours.
Gaines was honest in her response, but later in the speech, Robinson thought she landed an ace in the hole with her remarks about professional tennis player Serena Williams.
Do males have an advantage over females biologically in sports?
Again, I'm not a physician, and I can't speak to that.
What's your real-world experience?
It depends. I mean, there are some people who are born male that I'm faster than if I were to sprint against them, and some that I'm not. Some males that are taller than some women, and some that are shorter.
You don't believe that a biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female?
Not as a definitive statement.
Give me an example. Well, no, I don't think. How many female members of the NBA do you see?
Well, I can say that, there's been this news article about men that think that they could beat Serena Williams in tennis. right? That they think that they could actually score a point on her. And it's just not the case.
Ironically, a pre-existing interview with David Letterman showed Serena Williams speaking on the subject of competing in the men's league, and her answer contradicted Robinson's points.
Let's say you would be the...
I was hoping you'd say.
All right, feminine side. And me.
And you. Oh. Well, actually, it's funny because Andy Murray, he was been joking about myself and him playing a match, and I'm like, Andy, seriously, like, are you kidding me? Because for me, tennis and men's tennis and women's tennis are completely almost two separate sports. So I'm like, if I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-0, 6-0 in 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because no, it's true. It's true. It's a completely. Really? It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster, and they serve harder, they hit harder. It's just a different game, and I love to play women's tennis, and I only want to play girls because I don't want to be embarrassed. I would not do the tour. I wouldn't do Billie Jean any justice. So Andy, stop it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you kill me.
I'm with you when it comes to tennis. I only want to play girls.
Yeah.
We got that going on.
He is stronger than that.
What's your experience, Ben? Male, female?
Both Serena and Venus lost to the 203rd ranked male tennis player, which they're phenoms for women. My experience, my husband, he swam at University of Kentucky as well. In terms of accolades and in terms of national ranking, I was a much better swimmer than him. He could kick my butt any day of the week without trying.
Take into account some of the most popular sports played today. Nobody wants to see a female receiver get tackled at full speed by a grown male linebacker. Would you feel comfortable watching a female MMA fighter taking heavy hits in a cage fight against a man? Probably not, but it's actually happened as seen here.
Fox delivering the knees, and that's it. Fallon Fox. Holy cow. Game over. Wow. And a quick finish to our first women's $20,000 championship tournament fight.
How you feeling right now? I'm feeling excellent. That was sweet, huh? Did you like that? Yeah! And I want to tell everyone else, I'm coming in this tournament. Every woman in this tournament better look out. I'm freaking coming.
Well, you heard it here, everybody. Fallon Fox coming for you in the ladies tournament, advancing to the next round. Let's give it up one more time for Fallon Fox!
People need to stop acting like it's other people's fault that biologies differ between males and females. It's nature. The science has been proven. Males on average have a much higher bone mass in certain vital areas, including the hips and lower legs, as opposed to females. While there may certainly be exceptions, overall there would be a significant advantage to male athletes in most sports. In all respect, perhaps a fairer solution would be able to create a separate league for trans athletes that would be all-inclusive, just like weight classes, and let the leaders of said league create the rules according to their needs. Stop pushing the agenda against everybody's beliefs.
Over and over and over, you're told as a woman to shut up, don't say anything. What's that like?
That is continually happening. And if we do speak up, you're immediately labeled as some name. They will call you everything under the sun, whether it's transphobic, homophobic, racist, white supremacist, domestic terrorist. They will throw them all at you in hopes to deter you, in hopes to silence you. Lia Thomas's teammates, they were forced every single week to go to mandatory LGBTQ education meetings to learn about how just by being cisgender, they were oppressing Lia Thomas. They were told that they're not allowed to take a stance because their school has already taken their stance for them. They were told that you will never get a job, you will never get into grad school, you will lose your friends, you will lose your scholarship and playing time if you speak out. They told these girls that if you do speak out, and any harm whatsoever comes towards Thomas's way, whether that's through social media, whether that's physical, mental, emotional harm, then you are solely responsible, and you could be responsible for a potential death. And you don't want that, do you? Of course not. Who would ever want to be responsible in a potential death? But that is the emotional blackmail that is plaguing this country, especially in universities.
Should a new league be created to appease trans athletes? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Steve Inman with the Resist the Mainstream, reporting the news that the mainstream won't. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and of course, hit that notification bell to stay up to date. Until next time, we'll see you then. Take care.